We've covered ways to generate money extensively on this channel. We have also discussed the behavior that is necessary for success. However, today we'll look at some financial mistakes to avoid making. So grab your money diary because I'm willing to bet you're doing at least one of these financial sins. But don't panic. With the knowledge you will gain today, you can improve the quality of your life. 1. Not purchasing insurance. This is for you if, like me, you fear picking up your iPhone after the 100th dropped attempt. Get coverage for your TV, phone, health, and student loans. The finest illustration of this is the start of the coronavirus, which is frequently the only thing that will keep you afloat in the middle of a shipwreck. Because they lacked the funds to cover their medical expenses, many people were impacted. Employers, employees, and company owners have all greatly suffered during the past 2 years. Consider the kind of umbrella those who purchased insurance for their companies had at the time. Be cautious and take advantage of the free insurance that certain businesses provide to their customers. In conclusion, it's crucial for us to comprehend the financial mistakes we make and how to avoid them, if we want to one day be financially free. To prevent your friends and relatives from committing these financial mistakes, share this with them. The effect quitting these behaviors will have in both your and their separate lives will astound you. 2. Letting your lifestyle consume you slowly. If you've ever been without money, do you realize the entitlement that comes with having those additional funds? When you have money that you've worked hard to get and discover something you previously couldn't buy, you experience that emotion. We must be able to distinguish between our necessities and wants, and once you receive a pay raise, it is not yet time to start moving into a larger home or purchasing new jewelry. Why not make an investment in short-term goals that would help you regenerate your wealth rather than wasting money on pricey goods you don't need? Sorry if I upset you, but if you don't have a financial plan, you'll still find yourself in the same financial situation as everyone else before you. Although writing out a strategy may seem tedious, you'll avoid numerous financial blunders that you otherwise would not have been able to. Can you refuse a trip during your downtime? For the same reason, you won't be able to justify spending a few dollars of your pay on unimportant items. Be sure to heed this advice if you want to avoid making these financial blunders this year. You'll see great results from it. 3. Having unrealistic goals. We wanted to be princesses and princes when we were little. We were both unaware of and uninterested in how individuals got to be these things. But as adults, we can no longer indulge in our tainted illusions. Each of us needs to set an achievable goal for profit, drawing out a clear vision of where we want to go in 10 years and a very detailed but flexible roadmap for getting there. If you want to purchase the home and red BMW of your dreams, you must have a financial strategy. Even better, apply your creativity and create a vision board. You'll be extremely driven as a result to accomplish all of your own ambitions. Look up some YouTube tutorials on how to make a vision board with timeframes that are realistic. If you need to save money to achieve your goals, make sure to store that money in a separate account so that you don't withdraw from it. 4. Lending money to pals you don't have. This financial error is typical of 20-year-olds, but do not fret. The good news is that as you become older and acquire more knowledge, you'll grow out of it. Avoid the temptation to lend your pals money only to make them like you. You'll be reduced to pleading with others for cash. Depression and strained relationships, especially when you're attempting to support yourself financially. You'll be thinking about how they would have paid you back continuously as you see them spend money on vacations and new outfits. Instead, hold on to your pocketbook with all your might, especially until you're financially secure enough to say goodbye to your money without breaking down in tears. 5. A credit monitoring alert not being set up. There are many types of excellent credit and bad credit, both of which can leave you permanently in debt. To make matters worse, with so many hackers at large nowadays, identity theft and other fraudulent acts have increased in frequency. You should set up a monitoring alert setup along with identity theft protection services to prevent servicing credits you are unaware of. You can look for such assistance online. According to what I've heard, These online watchdogs safeguard your information and keep track of it on the dark web in case you're the target of an attack. I'm hoping that this knowledge will protect you from needless losses. Don't you agree that it makes sense to provide a little more security for your cash? 6. Using credit to pay for everything. The things we despise the most are credit cards. Why wouldn't we too? They've managed to make life both simpler and more difficult. However, it is simpler since we may purchase certain products that we cannot afford and pay for them later with the payment of some interest. But because so many of us have managed to mismanage our credit, leaving us deep in debt and dead, it makes life more difficult. Purchasing food and petrol on credit is a terrible idea since you're paying interest on each of these purchases, which essentially means you're paying more for them. Additionally, this kind of spending has a habit of causing you to lose sight of your outgoings. To prevent fees, you should make sure to always make your credit card payments on time. Additionally, to avoid the added fees, stick to making average-sized transactions with your credit card. 7. Having no emergency savings. For many people who are focused on their spending, managing their money has remained their top issue. Let's say you want to spend your money sensibly. In that situation, you should think about setting up an emergency fund to cover sudden, time-sensitive expenditures in case you get sick. Are you able to pay for the expense of getting treatment? Or perhaps you have health insurance coverage. Please be aware that you're on a really perilous road if you don't have either. However, some financial professionals choose to wait and clear debts before creating an emergency fund. I've found that it's best to save as little as you can safely do without jeopardizing your ability to pay off debt. After all, if you save $1 every day, you'll have around $365 at the end of the year. And don't you believe that will relieve some of the pressure from your urgent cash emergencies? I believe that it does. Okay, I need you to help me out with something. Do me a great favor right now by pausing this video and clicking the like button. If you did, congrats, you rock, and I appreciate your help very much. 8. Panic selling investments. This point is for those of you who are a little further along in the financial discovery journey. They've taken up some investments, such as buying stocks. With such a great setup, 2020 brought with it a great shock, a pandemic that shattered economic growth and saw almost every portfolio drop by 30%. It was such a great loss that it led to many waves of panic selling shares in a single week, scaring investors that stock prices will further drop and they'll experience losses. The scariest but best approach when it comes to stocks is buying and holding. No matter the short-term changes, you need to resist the urge to shortchange yourself. In the long run, this strategy will help you make unimaginable profits, while also restricting your desire to constantly check your account balance. 9. Extravagant spending. We all adhere to the adage YOLO, you only live once, which, regrettably, causes us to make really foolish choices. We are all programmed to believe that we work for our money. As a result, you'll frequently find yourself going over your budget because, after all, who doesn't deserve the first-class supper after a stressful week? That's not such a good idea, as it merely drains your bank account. You must realize that money serves 4 purposes. 1 is for investment, 2 is for saving, 3 is for consumption, and 4 is for giving. Your spending on even one of these items alone is a blatant sign of poor money management. Your credit card will eventually be maxed out, and you will be deeply in debt without even realizing it. Cut back on those occasional modest costs, since they eventually pile up. This brings us full circle to the topic of developing a viable budget. 10. You're not earning money during downtime. Given that the majority of our occupations are quite busy, we often just want to snooze or squander our leisure time on pointless activities. On the weekends, sometimes even right after work, we go out dancing or play video games with pals. The fact that we're squandering our valuable time when we could be earning additional money is something that many of us are unaware of. You need to distance yourself from this financial error if you wish to succeed. Find a means to monetize your interest by taking it up in your leisure time. You may pet sit, make cakes, catering parties, or simply sit. You might be able to make some additional money, but only if you're prepared to develop personally. Consider turning your side gig into a company. Hustle. I have a thought. Wouldn't it be amazing if your name were on a bakery uptown? So what's stopping you now? 11. You don't know exactly what you spend your money on. You can't manage what you don't measure, according to a well-known adage. How can you even start to estimate how much you're spending? I stand by this adage. You won't know if you're overspending, underpaying, or on track if you don't keep track of your expenditures. The most successful and intelligent individuals among us deal with budgets, and I'm not talking about basic, unpolished finances. No, it's about meticulous planning, in which every item or payment has a price associated with it. They don't even have to blink to account for all the money they earned in the previous 3 years. The key to success is having a budget. I advise you to attempt to make a solid budget within your means and see the effects. 12. You're not negotiating your salary when starting a job. Yes, I did say that. The reason why the majority of you guys aren't eager to discuss your pay is that you fear coming out as pushy and losing the job. First of all, I'd want to remind you that you have nothing to lose if they decide not to hire you, because you already lack employment and are actively seeking one, or you are employed but are simply looking into other alternatives. Second, you must establish the tone of your communication with your company right away. After you request a pay negotiation, a smart employer will go above and beyond to retain your services because they understand that your fearlessness will be beneficial to the expansion of their business. So the following time you go for a job interview, prepare thoroughly and discuss your income. You may end up being surprised by how far some businesses will go if prodded. I appreciate you all watching the video today, people. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it and learned something from it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. In addition, welcome and subscribe if you're a new visitor for more articles like this. That being said, have a great day, and I'll talk to you all again on the next one.